Throughout my first 20 years of working as a photographer at BYU, we didn't have a photo studio. Anytime I needed to do anything more than a simple portrait, I had to throw a bunch of lights in a van, drive around campus, and look for, beg, borrow, and let's be honest, sometimes steal locations, all just so I could take pictures. I spent a lot of time dreaming of what it would be like to have my own place, my own studio that I could just walk into anytime I wanted to. Well, it finally happened. Welcome to BYU Photo. Let's go ahead and take a look at our portrait studio. One of my priorities in building this studio was to have a dedicated space that was only used for portraits. You may ask, why was that important to me? Well, I'll tell you, consistency. You see, we could take a portrait today or 5 years from now, and I need them to look the same. So we need to have the same backdrop, the same lights, the same camera, so they're consistent. Let me show you the space. We made the decision to go with continuous lighting in here, and mostly that's a selfish reason. When we're sitting in our offices editing, it's really nice to not have the constant flashes of the billions of portraits that we shoot every year. We're using Aperture LS300D Mark IIs for our background and for our hair light. But then on our key light, we're using these IntelliTech light panels, and I really like them because they're super bright, but also they're super compact. They fit in the space really well. In my portrait studio, I have these marks on the floor, and the reason for that is for the clients. It's really nice to be able to tell clients, say, hey, just go ahead and put your toes on the yellow tape. It gets their hips and their shoulders in the right position so that it's easy to take a portrait. And then right here, the camera is tethered to this station so they can immediately make the choice on what selection they want to use. Hopefully it's not that image. We use a Canon R5 with an 85 fixed lens, again, for consistency, and this camera stays here. It doesn't go anywhere else. You know, but that's enough about here. Let's look at the office. We left things nice and open. I really like that collaborative environment that it creates. Each student has their own pod, but still, they're really close together. We have low dividers on purpose so that they can still talk with one another and get advice about photos and editing. Here's one of our student stations. We just got these in, the M1 Max Studios. Awesome. They kill it. They will just run through photos so fast. I love how they work. Over on the wall, we have a nice TV that's just a conference room TV. And it's really nice for training, or if a student has a question about an image, we can throw it up on the TV and talk through it with them. It's been really worked out well for us. Back here, we have a video station. And in here, we have the staff offices. It's really nice to have our own office, our own space. Over on the wall, we have a TV that we can work with clients on, some spaces for them to sit or to meet with students also. But it's just our own little sanctuary. Over on the wall, we have a lot of windows in this office, and that can be an issue, but the nice thing is we have these curtains that drop down that kill the ambient light, so it's easy to control the color temperature with Photoshop. Another thing I love, these sound panels. In the office area, it's really nice to have these sound dampening panels. It just makes the office a little bit quieter, a little bit easier to work in for a long time. Over on the side, we have some cutting stations and also a medium format and a large format printer. Lots of prints get done here, but that's pretty much it. Hey, watch out for the light! We call this the conference room, but in reality, it's whatever we need it to be. Some days we'll be doing portraits in here, other days we'll have meetings. Sometimes we'll just have the client sit in here while they're waiting for their photo shoot. So this room has to be modular. I love this table because it will just pop right up and I can throw it out. Same with these chairs, they stack up nice and easy so we can make a nice big clear space. Over here in these cubby holes, we kind of have our history of BYU Photo. We took all the equipment that we've used in the past and kind of have just by decade, a story of BYU Photo. And for some reason, we have the Heisman Trophy. I'm not sure why. Another cool thing about this area is whenever we're taking pictures, we have a wireless tethering system using shutter snitch and an iPad. And we can cast it to a big TV, so when we're working with clients, they can see the photos pop up as soon as we take them. It's really a fun feature of our photo studio. Back here, we have a nice big garage door that makes it really easy to close off and section off this area so that this can be separate from the rest of the studio. Helps with sound, makes it so you can have a conference room meeting in here while the photo shoot's going on back there. My favorite though, the couch. Nice, big, soft couch. Makes it nice and easy because, you know, photographers work too much. But the only problem is lens caps everywhere. You don't need this. Welcome to the photo studio. This is where all the magic happens. I love this space because it's so big. We left everything as wide open as possible, including these 14-foot ceilings, which allow us to do a lot with that height. The first thing that people notice when they walk in here is this white cyc, 29 feet wide, and I'm telling you, I love it. You can shoot anything in here. Dance, athletics, even big giant group photos. It allows a lot of freedom of movement. Also, we've mounted these bars up in the ceiling so that we can permanently attach lights to. There's 3 lights here that are only lighting that cyc on the background, which is awesome. Also this top-down light. Everything that we shoot here, Profoto. We love Profoto. And I love Profoto because they're so controllable from the camera. Using this Pro remote, you can turn zones on and off and change levels with them. But pretty much everything we're shooting is Pro 10 packs and D2 monolights. And we've been really happy with how they've worked. You can see a bunch of our Profotos set up over here. Also on the wall, we have a bunch of our softboxes ready to go. Nate created this system where you could just pull a softbox off the wall and we can hurry and get it to use. So one more thing that's really important is we have a rolled up piece of turf. For when we're shooting athletics, it's nice to be able to roll out this grass and then athletes with cleats can run on it and get a nice feel. They can actually do some actual athletic movements on them. The last part, the black cyc. I don't know if I've ever seen a black cyc in a studio before. This was kind of a last minute decision for us. It's 16 feet wide, and I'm telling you, it's amazing. We shoot so much on the black cyc, and in fact, I'd say we shoot on the black cyc more than the white cyc. Athletics especially love it, the designers especially love it because it's easy to cut out uniforms against this black background. But I'm telling you, this is a fun space. It's so big, it allows us to do so many things at once. In fact, we can have 3 shoots going on in this studio at the same time. So the last thing I want to show you, wait, is that some dust on it? Oh yeah, much better. Welcome to our camera room. This is a place that's kind of my haven. I love this room. Something that bothers me is when you have a studio that's cluttered. It's got a lot of gear and cameras and batteries just sitting everywhere. I like a clean studio, so this room makes that happen. Let me show you around. First of all, we have lots of storage spaces. So, things like equipment that needs to be repaired. Down here, we have just a bunch of lenses and cameras that are pool cameras for our students to use. And on top of the counter, honestly, it's a work in progress. We're actually going to build a charging station to get all these charging bricks out of the way so we have more room to clean cameras and to repair them up on the countertop. Over here, we have tools because obviously, got to build sets. And then up here, we have some of our travel cases, more lighting gear, grip equipment, everything that we need in a studio. Back here in the corner, I actually have a bunch of carpet and a bunch of other seamless rolls that we need to use in the studio, but it's nice to have them here and out of the way. But the most important thing, of course, is the camera rack. This is where all of our cameras live. Down here, we have long lenses for sports, and it's nice to have a nice, safe place for them. And up here, these are all the kits that we check out to the students. One thing that we do is we color code each one of our kits, and then we get just nail polish, and we go and put that same color on our lenses and our cameras. It makes it really easy to keep everything nice and organized. Finally, we just have some, monopods and tripods and other things like here, just miscellaneous stuff that you accumulate over the years. So if you need lens caps, give me a call. But that's it. That's the BYU Photo Studio. Hopefully this is something that was able to give you some good ideas. When you build your own studio, you can maybe take some of these ideas and use them. But if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below. But otherwise, it's time to get to work. So we'll see you on the sidelines.